You guys are ready.
Hello, my name is Peyton Sosky.
I'm AJ Van Buren.
I'm Luke Savage.
And I'm Sam.
I'm Bella Parisi, and we are On Time. When I was younger, it was custom for my brother and I to be late to every game, rehearsal, or practice. There was no winning between my parents' work and mine and my brother's extracurriculars. Although both my parents worked full-time, my mother definitely had it the hardest. She's an elementary school teacher, and she always got off school around the same time as us, so she was mostly responsible for picking us up and dropping us off wherever we needed to go. I've witnessed all of my life her leaving work meetings early, the weight on her shoulders, the frustration of having to get us everywhere we needed to go. And while she had the whole parenting puzzle together and she was a wonderful mother, these pieces she just could not get right. Our schedule always looked a little bit like this. It was really crazy, it was really hectic. My mother looked a bit like this, and my brother and I patiently waiting for our rides. We found that my mother was not alone, not only through conducting interviews, but Motherly, a parenting blog, conducted an interview of working parents that had concluded that 42% of parents have risked their job for their child's transportation needs. This is saddening and concerning. So we decided that we would help make a difference, and we began On Time. On Time is a local rideshare service dedicated to providing safe and reliable rides for kids whose parents are caught up in their busy and active lifestyles. This not only allows communities to come closer, but local parents to provide additional income by picking up shifts on their own accordance. Our entire goal of our company is to provide safe and reliable rides for kids and for parents to be able to remain stable for their children, because that's what really matters at the end of the day.
Yes, for On Time, our target market is parents. Parents around 30 to 40 years old, parents that live in the Chicago suburb area. For this presentation, let's refer our customer as Carrie. Carrie is a working mom. She's busy. She doesn't always have time to take her kids to where they need to be, like after school practice. The most important thing to Carrie is her kids. She wants to make sure they get to places safely. That's why with On Time, we have mutual approval for our rides. What that means is that parents have to approve of who's driving their kids, the drivers have to accept the ride that are given to them. Along with that, we also have no base fare with our rides. That means we don't have a set price at the beginning of each ride, it's just how long the ride takes. And also, on top of that, we have seamless money transactions between parents and drivers. Our total addressable market we found through Statista is $33.9 billion, the ride-hailing market, and then our serviceable addressable market is $759 million. Our competitors include Uber, Lyft, and just generic taxi service companies. With these companies, obviously, popularity is an advantage they have over a company like ours. But what they don't have is exclusivity. This type of concept is easily imitatable. What sets us aside is our exclusivity to parents. We are tailor-made to help parents get their kids to where they need to be, and that's what sets us aside from our competitors.
Now, this is Carrie. Carrie is a 38-year-old mother, and we plan to attack Carrie with emails, flyers, and Instagram. Carrie is always on her phone, and she checks her emails frequently, and then she also checks Instagram frequently. This is actually where we got the picture off of Instagram, so it wouldn't make sense. And then Carrie has to pick up her children from soccer and football and other sports, so flyers around those sports facilities like Canlan, Bathrow, Ron Beasley Park, Langendorf, etc. Our one and only channel is through our website. It would make sense because you order our service off our website, it's only the service, and it's all online. So it's all on your phone, and it's all in one place. Easy, simple. And then some of the challenges we face is functionality. We don't have the money or the resources to create a website that provides our full function of our rides, with our scheduling of our rides, our organizing our rides, and our database. And then also another challenge is our presentability. Our website isn't to its top professional premier form, and we want to try and get it there. Our pricing strategy is $2.25 per mile for every child. This is about $1.57 per mile per child in cost for the driver, and then our profit is 68 cents per mile for every child. To put this in perspective, from Barrington High School to Canlan Sports Complex, it's around 3.5 miles. It's an 8 to 10 minute drive, depending on the time of day, and an Uber price from that time at around after school hours is $14.25. Our price is $7.88. This is a $2.36 profit for own time and a $5.51 for our cost for our driver. Our first year estimate, depending on our market share revenue of our area, is $84.5 thousand, and we make a 30% profit because 70% goes to our drivers. So our gross profit is $25.3 thousand.
Using our MVP, we're going to be taking a closer look at the key metrics part of our business model. So it's actually going to be seeing who's actually going to sign up and use this service for both parties, the customer as well as the driver. So we have a few methods in gaining their attention. The first being flyers around these high traffic areas, as Peyton said earlier, like Canlan Sportsplex, Ron Beasley Park, Langendorf, and the Park District. And then also these will have QR codes that will send you directly to our landing page and give the customer the brief rundown on our service, as well as a place to leave your email so they can receive constant updates as well as surveys in the future. And then we're going to measure how we're doing with this by looking at the amount of responses received as well as the amount of people that sign up. And then we were able to take this and make improvements, but also see what's working that we can keep and grow upon in our business. And then a few of our goals is, as we use this data, to constantly update our website, and then also figure out what a good price is as we gain this feedback for the customer and the driver. And then our channel, being our website, is our only a direct channel, but in the future we could possibly develop that into an app. And then lastly, for the cost of this, we'll be taking the exact range, which is the Barrington area right now for rides, but then later on if we do expand, we could, the price might change if the rides get longer depending on the feedback we receive. And then for the timeline of this, start of March we'll be implementing, so using these tactics, we'll be able to get our first ride and test this at the very start of March. And overall, this MVP just allows us to see where do we need to improve and then keep what's working so we can have the best service possible for our customers.
So with our customer feedback part of the MVP, with our MVP website, we're getting those interviews and making our website better so we can turn it into a functioning website where we can connect parents with our potential drivers and getting their kids to where they need to be. And just overall, just trying to make the parents connected to the community and making a more efficient community. With our estimated cost, since a lot of them are coming from startup, we are asking for 100 with, that includes flyers, the Facebook and Instagram ads. We hope you enjoyed getting a better understanding of Own Time's opportunity, market segment, financials, and MVP. And please ask questions, and don't forget, get your time back with Own Time.
So how many parents have you spoken to about this concept? And follow-up question, for those that are kind of interested in this idea, is there an age group that their child will fall into that would sort of be a sweet spot?
For our child, we're trying to like
Right, so
ride share.
yeah, maybe to unpack it a little bit, I think parents may be nervous sending a kindergartner or a first grader into a ride, but an older child they may be more comfortable with.
Yeah, so we're trying to attack like 4th or 5th graders to like 8th graders for maybe our parent or teen kind of, mostly parents for the younger, but then like freshmen or sophomores, they could go with like a upperclassman teenager or maybe even a parent too, if the parent's available.
Yeah, I think just to add on to that, the sweet spot definitely is like late middle school, like 7th and 8th grade, because their parents are going to feel more comfortable with having a local parent drive them, which is the important part. It's a local parent. It's not a stranger coming from 50 miles away. So I think that's definitely the sweet spot.
And have you spoken to parents about this concept?
We've spoken to many parents, we've done many interviews. We did interviews about whether or not they had the problem and whether or not this was a viable solution. Honestly, I could not tell you the exact number of parents, but we spent a lot of time doing interviews since,
It's around like
since October.
It's around like 250-ish parents.
Yes, we also
in our
did
area.
surveys as well.
Good for you.
What was the specific feedback around this point between, hey, trying to get a carpool with somebody who's going to the same place with their own child for the same purpose versus like random local parent?
Yeah, that was, our first goal was to have, like a database that parents could connect when their kids are going to the same place. However, we found that it would be more difficult because a lot of the times the problem is that there's not someone that's able to carpool on their team, or they don't have the means to communicate with them. So we figured for parents who do want the extra income, who do have the extra time, that they could just do that. And it seemed like a widely accepted idea, so.
And how do you account, or are you counting on something else in terms of security?
We did, yes, vetting the parents definitely is a big thing. Background checks, also driving reports is a big thing, and the safety report of the car. And on our website, we currently have available drivers, and you can view the driver's report if they've ever gotten in any accidents, God forbid, and if the safety of their car, how safely rated their car is.
All right, so will you have some sort of ratings of each other, both the drivers as well as the families that are being
Yes.
serviced?
Yes.
Okay, and in addition to driver safety, there is criminal background check
Mhm,
that will
yeah.
be more important, because having minors in a car where an adult is in control, and that should go awry, that's a significant issue.
Yeah.
And insurance, again, just checking, because anything involving kids and security, that insurance is through the roof.
Yeah.
And I understand in terms of the challenges of your website that you're creating, perhaps there are existing products out there that you could use as a dummy in essence, like Calendly, or even as simple as Google Mail, in terms of, at least during the first month or two of MVP, how to reserve, just a thought.
Yeah.
Is it the case that a ride-hailing service, a taxi service of any kind has to register with state or local government to be able to operate? Do you know about that?
We are not 100% positive on that, but we will follow up on
Yeah.
that.
That might be one of the first things you check into, because there's ways of getting around it and pivot back to the database idea where you're not actually operating the service, you're just providing information for parents to be able to.
Kind of like
Good
a
on
ride
that.
board from college, but digitally.
Yeah.
How did you come up with your pricing?
So we researched on competitors. So we had Uber, Lyft, normal taxi service in Chicago, and then taxi service in the suburban area. And then we also just researched with parents on surveys. So we could still change our price a little bit by depending on how parents react to when they actually pay for their kid being driven. So we don't have the exact value, but that's what our estimated is depending on our competitors and what we've researched from surveys from our parents.
I try to flush that out in your research with your parents. Just off the top of my head, I would, Uber's already available, and I wouldn't put my kid on an Uber, but I pay a premium over the Uber price to get them where they need to be versus a discount. And I think the people that are on the other side of the transaction too, it isn't worth the risk to pick up a kid for $7, but if they're a routine driver of something and that can be established, maybe it's worth it for 14.
Yes, that $7.88 is for one child, but if they were to pick up two childs, double, depending on each kid.
Well, and I would suggest that you might look into this idea, building on what Nick said about whether someone can request a specific driver and whether there's a model that is almost like in legal terms, it'll be like a retainer, where someone might be willing to pay a little bit more of a premium, and they pay a bulk fee, for example, to say, I anticipate I'm gonna schedule you guys weekly to take this kid from school to their piano lesson and then home, and I'll pay you like a month in advance. Maybe, you know, you look into whether there's any pricing model that would work for that, gives guaranteed kind of income, then you might give the person a little bit of a discount if they're paying in advance.
So you're like suggesting like a package for like a week or like a month package with
Right.
certain scheduled days?
Think of your student activities,
Mhm.
they tend to run by season,
Yeah.
Correct.
so that
we
could
have
be
one of
a
those.
Block
monthly.
of something, yeah, it's weekly lessons, it's weekly practice, or twice a week or something. And if they can get comfortable, the next point, knowing it's gonna be Bob or Mary or Mrs. Smith who are coming, expected to be coming on a regular basis, that builds that comfort level as well. Something you might just explore as you go into the seminary.
There was a business, and this goes back a few years ago, but it had, what I think is a similar value proposition where it leveraged the credibility of a hyper-local user and, you know, provider base to make the connection, and I think they pivoted a little bit towards almost being more of a broker than a payment facilitator, so that might be, what was it, Citadel?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
You know, I think it could be a very similar thing where there's enough credibility within the community, and then you could use it as a template to go to different communities and you know, set up the same thing.
What did the MVP ask?
Yeah.
I think it was 100.
You just
Yeah,
had that
correct.
slide. Go back to that slide, please.
They don't have the numbers, just,
Don't have the number.
Yeah. So what are you asking for?
100 for Facebook and Instagram, but mainly flyers around town.
And for the fixing our website to make it fully functional.
To be able to connect points with our potential drivers and ourselves.
Sorry. I think you guys may want to consider all the different elements that the judges have suggested, security, the different points. So your ask sounds low, given some of the issues that were raised. But also, if you're going hyper-local, maybe there are ways to use other social media that are more friendly to what you're trying to achieve, such as Nextdoor or something.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. I didn't even think about that.
But what do you guys think?
I'm fine with the ask, given that it's that low.
Yeah.
And
And if you hit a point where there's
Yeah.
a channel that you want to explore,
Just ask
right,
cars,
come back,
cars,
ask,
yeah.
ask money bags for money.
Yeah, he's got it now, he's dancing stars.
Don't worry about the flyers, that focus on the website.
Yeah, I agree. All right, good luck, guys.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.